water.
Oh, dude, I've lost my voice recently several times,
We
and I kind
apparently
of
are
wonder.
alive, Scott. Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
it's
I've had
it's long COVID.
maybe. Well, you say that. One of my employees was out with COVID this week,
Yeah.
and everyone is like, "Why didn't you guys have to quarantine?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Safety department told us not to." But he never came to work with COVID.
Hmm.
So, but I've been a little hoarse all week, and I'm like, hmm. I mean, honestly, between you and me, right now, I feel about like I felt when I had COVID. So,
Well,
but apparently the strain that's going around now is just a complete butt kicker. So, I don't think I've got it.
they're promoting it as a complete butt kicker. You bet you they are.
Well, no,
They're
no.
getting
People at my
they're
work have had it.
okay.
They've got it, and they've said, yeah, a guy at my work has had he said it's a lot worse. It's worse, not a lot worse, but it's worse than the last strain. But the last strain was pretty minor.
Hmm.
I didn't even know I had it until somebody said you should get tested, and then it's like, oh crap, I got COVID. But if he was out and I was, and then one of my guys had a stomach thing yesterday, but I am taking off work tomorrow because I said, screw it, I'm taking off. If I don't take off when I want to take off, as long as there's nothing too crazy going on, I
Hmm.
should be able to take off. I mean, I got a million hours of vacation. I figure I have to take. I don't know if are you on my page? Okay. I
You want me
figure,
to show off your alternate cover for or pinup? Not
yeah, show off
alternate
the
cover.
pinup,
Okay,
and we can talk.
share screen.
I
Share
have,
screen.
yeah, I have about uh, well, I figure between now and because my work's policies about can't get too much. You have to you'll max out on vacation. So I figure to be safe, I need to take about 100 hours of vacation still this year. You know, it's like 2 weeks. I mean, I'll be gone. I'm taking off tomorrow, but I'll probably miss a couple hours. It's a short day, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Hmm.
So the are you showing it? I want to talk about
I'm
if you're
trying
showing it.
to figure out if I'm having. Here we go. I should be showing. Oh, I gotta click it though. Okay,
Oh,
here we go.
so this is a
There we go.
this
How's that
is
look?
well, I can't see it, so
You can't. Okay. Let me make
I'll take
sure
I'll
that
take.
I am sharing it. Oh, this silly thing.
So
Okay, here we go.
obviously, my comic Heaven's Rejects
There,
is coming out soon. The
there it is.
writer and I have commissioned, and by the way, he sent me a real nice note today, and he told the writer Greg Wright said, "Thank you for gathering the artist." He said everybody did a great job, and I've been very happy with the artist that you hired. And he said it was great to see, and he knew like you guys were all my friends,
Mm-hmm.
which that's what I thought was cool,
Mm-hmm.
is that I was able to like get my friends in on the book.
Yeah, and I've got the money in my pocket from being paid. I appreciate the heck out of that.
No
Like that.
problem. No problem. I appreciate you working. I don't want to say so cheap because apparently I paid you your
Yeah,
rate.
my rate for in world definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but I appreciate you doing it. You did a great job. Everybody did a great job. And what I like is they were all a little bit different in their own
Mm-hmm.
style. And but anyway, yeah, the writer appreciated that and was happy with everything. Everybody's happy, which that's always, if everybody's happy, if you're doing art and everybody's happy, then you're good. I've learned the hard way. I've got a situation at work where we have a customer that wants something now. Well, they want it in 3 weeks, and it's a 6-week product, and they just can't settle on exactly what they want, Ellis.
Oh boy.
You know, it's just like, well, you may get nothing. Anyway, I'm futzing around with lead weights here. I bought I bought these pencil leads. I don't have them that I really like, but they're only. I think they only make them in 0.5, and they're kind of dark. They're an HB, but they don't smudge hardly at all, and I like them.
HB,
And
huh?
I bought a thing, and it was.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I actually think that's the generic weight that most mechanical pencils come in.
Yeah, and number 2. Yeah, the HB is the common lead, but this was like some special lead, and I got 5 or 6 packs of 40 each. So I'm like, I have enough mechanical lead, 0.5 lead to last me forever.
I do too.
But I've been drawing with a 0.5 pencil lately.
I just can't look in the future and understand that whatever I just go mad about ordering and thinking I need so badly, it will take me exactly a week to never be using it again. It'll just be sitting there.
Well, so this is Prime Day, or Amazon Prime Week is this week. And I made a.
Is it over now or not?
It's over. It's 2 days.
Okay, yeah.
And I made an impulse Well, now I had some Amazon money through work, and so I made a couple impulse purchases. One specifically for Prime Day, and I didn't think I was going to have this today. I'll show this to you.
What is it? Yeah.
It's a Rotring 800 mechanical pencil.
Wow, nice.
It's a 0.5. This normally, I believe, was $48. I got it for $24. It's metal. It's heavy. It's not overly heavy, but it's pretty heavy. But check this out. The end there, the point extends when you twist the end of it there.
Sweet. Yeah, that'll protect that.
So this will be this will be great for carrying around in my sketchbook or with my sketchbook. You know.
Yeah, that
anyway,
that changes his profile. Being able to do that too, that's nice.
It's like okay. Yeah, and I mean, I have I have been drawing with a 0.5 mechanical pencil for the last couple of weeks, and I'm liking it. It's working well into what I'm doing. It's good, and I've gone back and looked at some of my older stuff, and it's like, okay, what was I doing? If I was smart, Ellis, if I had a time machine, one of the many things I would tell myself, I would say, on the back of every one of these samples I draw, I need to write down what I used. Because I look back and I go, yeah, take notes. Take process notes. I look back and I go, man, I really like that. What did I do?
Oh, I'm constantly making little notes and ideas to myself, and then I'll come across a nice little cache of them somewhere, and it's like, oh man, I didn't do 10% of that. Those were great ideas.
I didn't know how smart I was.
Yeah.
Well, the notes would be good, but okay. So I want to show you. So that was one impulse purchase, and mind you, through a thing at work, I got $150 in Amazon cash. Okay. So that was one impulse purchase, and I think I sent you a picture of this is, I don't know if you can see that. This is one of the other ones. Drawing or Anatomy for Artists, drawing form and pose by a guy named Tom Fox on Instagram. He goes as Tom Fox Draws. I sent you his thing. This book is great. It's big. It's really big. Is it
Tom Fox or somebody? You said there's a Tom Wood or somebody that you were. Is it Tom Fox? Okay, never mind.
It's Tom Fox. Yes, Tom Fox. If I told you Wood, I was lying.
Well,
it's a 3D. It's a 3D publishing book. I put it was a little beat up when I got it, but I didn't send it back. I put a plastic cover over it to kind of protect it. And I've been taking it to work in my bag, and that's how far I am through it. I'm gonna read, which is 195 of about 300 pages. But I love the book. It's gonna take a lot. It's going to take a while to digest all the information in here. But I love how he's doing.
Hey, right there, that page where that page where that guy's using the rings right there. He's using the rings.
Yeah.
there is nothing that
Yeah.
pops out that pec muscle more than what he's doing right there. I don't know if that's what
Oh
he's
yeah.
trying to show, but anyway, yeah. Go
I
ahead.
think he's showing he's showing the rib cage, but
Yeah.
he is his 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 uh his instructions are very form based.
Uh huh.
Um, I don't know if you remember that Ken Landgraf thing I bought from that artist, and it was a bunch of his figure drawings like this, and it was all broken down into planes, just all kinds of figures and stuff, and that's kind of what this is. But one of the things that really, when I read it, I was like, oh, this is really uh, what I'm looking for. Is
Mm-hmm.
he talks a lot about don't draw, and this is what you're always saying, draw fewer lines carefully placed, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And this is exactly it's like learning the basic structures, and then and his reasoning is when you draw less lines, it looks more confident, and it gives your drawing a confidence.
Yes.
And so the book is geared towards getting you to that point, with forms. He is not a fan of gesture drawing, and the reason why is because he feels like gestures don't have any form. So he does not encourage people to do gestures. His thing is all about like showing the form, but not drawing every single plane.
Right.
He talks about overlap a lot. And so what he suggests people do, let's see if I can find it. Instead of drawing like he encourages like a box mannequin kind of figure.
Right.
His thing is more, you're better off drawing something like this because all the parts have a direction to them.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny now, what's funny about this is this ties into some stuff that I've been kind of developing in my own work, and it's this idea, like in my sketchbook especially, the idea that if you look at like Bronze Age comics, the anatomy is very simple, but the form is all there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I've been working on, and so the book, so getting it, I think was there's good timing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Well, you can get a
anyway,
lot
that
out
was
of anybody's. He's obviously got a lot of Bridgman to what he's
yeah.
telling you there, but I would really like to read all that stuff he's saying about abandon the notion of gesture, because there's probably nothing more basic to making an appealing drawing than don't start with gesture. So I think, and I think that's probably where he falls short. Those things are good and solid, but there's not much there I would call appealing. He's just a good solid draftsman.
Oh, in this stuff. Well, yeah, okay.
He's just a good solid draftsman, but if you want to have characters that look like they are doing some good acting for you or whatever, you're probably going to wish you worked a little harder on your gesture.
Well, let's see, I may find the page. I don't know where there's one page where he talks about it.
Yeah, well,
and
find the thing where he talks about gesture.
Do what?
Yeah, read that, what he talks about where he says something about gesture.
Find it.
Okay.
It's a 300-page book, Ellis.
Okay. You don't have to go straight to it.
Okay, thank you. So what have you been doing since it's been so hot?
Oh, getting in the walk every day, regardless. That's
good.
It is hot. I've got the thing set to 79 degrees, and I walk around all day long in my boxer shorts, and it's just life. Life is unlimited.
I'll make sure to call before I come over.
Yeah, call.
I'll warn you.
That's the way I answer the door.
That'll teach the neighbors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I can't find it, Ellis. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe you didn't
That's
say
all right.
that.
That's all right. Maybe you inferred it by looking at it.
No, because he talks about, and I think and again, I think his thing isn't necessarily his thing is draw the gesture with your mannequin, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, you can pull that off. I mean, it's like that you draw something that is got your bounding boxes for your main masses. And if you do that interestingly enough, it'll have gesture to it. But,
well, here's a I don't know if I got this where you can see it. Here's an example of kind of the thing that he's talking about.
uh-huh.
This is unclear limb rotation creates ambiguous gesture. So
Right.
his thing is you draw more, and he's like, if this is your gesture, the hand could be up, it could be
Right.
like this. So his thing is you want your uh, your original mannequin that as he calls it, to be
Sure.
clearer.
No, no, that's a good piece of advice that, if it's wrong at the mannequin stage, you are just going to pile on and not do it much better from that point. Yeah, get your rough right before you start in. Get all that measurement done, all that. And then
Yeah, yeah.
I say that, but if you're doing something that is just you're just tearing it up in terms of like doing very quick gestural sketches, then don't worry about that too much. If you're doing storyboards,
Well, in fact,
you aren't going to be working like that.
he mentioned storyboards was one of the exceptions
Okay.
because he was like,
Yeah, I was going to tell you that animators would really balk at the idea of like no gesture. What are you talking about?
oh yeah. Well, I think his thing is draw carefully
Hmm.
and
I saw something funny. I need to find it for you and send it to you. This guy had it's one of these art help things that I'm following on Instagram, and he had two
yeah.
different drawings of someone, and it's anime related kind of, and it's a girl bending at the waist.
Oh yeah.
And one of them had a big X over in the left, and one of them had a check saying, "This is how you do it." And that guy, I don't know if he was trying to do this, trying to mess with people, but everybody's saying, "Hey, there's no difference between these." And
Yeah.
what's funny is there was a very distinctive difference. Oh, Fly Fox Pro is saying you are the devil's child. You have really long pinky fingers.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I was just
I thought my
interpreting.
hands were normal.
Yeah.
Normal-ish.
Everybody thinks their hands are normal until someone
Exactly.
straightens
Until they
them
get
out.
confronted with
Yeah.
the I come from a family of musicians and artists,
Ah,
so
there
if
you
I had
go. Yeah, you'd want
long
those.
fingers, I would come. Speaking of, you know what we discovered this week?
What?
My wife is an albino.
How about that?
She took a genetic test because okay, so my wife has a visual condition called Stargard's. Most people that have Stargard's go blind. I don't know if it's totally blind or just legally blind. Not that there's a lot of difference, but there is a difference.
Like Edgar Winter.
Gen- well, hang on.
Okay. Sorry.
So my wife has Stargard. You're like, it's like squirrel. My wife has
Squirrel.
this condition called Stargard's,
Yeah.
and it is, and most people that get it are blind in their early 20s.
Hmm.
And they go, and when you get it, it hits you suddenly. It's not a gradual kind of thing, and so, but but she's obviously, my wife is not blind. I mean, you've met my wife,
No.
but she does have a lot of vision problems, and so they thought that, and so they had, it was like, what's going on here? So they asked her if she would do some genetic testing, and couldn't find out she has, and I believe it's ocular albinoism, which means she's not like Edgar Winter. I mean, you've seen her. She's pale, certainly, but not abnormally so. And she has blonde hair.
It's pigment in her eyes.
It's pigment in her eyes. And I read about it, and it's like they're sensitive to sunlight. They have some certain vision issue. I mean, I read about it. It's like, holy cow, that's Michelle to a T. So my wife is an albino.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was as a matter of fact, it can be had on Amazon. You want to read some bad writing, go to my Amazon book page and buy The Albino for 99 cents or something like that. I
think I have a copy of that.
You may have the paperback, but
does it have a green cover?
Yeah, I think so. It's got
is there a devil with a pit?
Yeah, it's got a real simple line drawing on it. I liked it. I thought would be a perfect throwaway image for it, and put that on it. Yeah, I might have a copy around here. Come think of it. But anyway, yeah, I decided I would write a horror story with an albino as a character, and albino sorcerer in the middle of the city, and it's just total crap. But it was me thinking I could be a writer back then, and I think I'm a writer now, but just because I've read 60 years worth of more books. I don't know.
Books.
Speaking of things I'm reading, have you ever read Gone Girl?
Yes. Well, I've listened to the audiobook.
That's what I'm doing right now. Now let's not talk about it because I've committed so much time to it. I don't want any more spoilers, but I've already seen the movie and knew what was coming.
I'm not sure how you could spoil it much more than seeing the movie, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got to see the movie again to see just how much they leave out, because it's my memory. They have absolutely none of Amazing Amy's viewpoint in it. So I need to watch the movie again. Yeah, I think they just leave her out. I think it's like it's all on Ben Affleck and us figuring it out without any reference to Amazing Amy.
Well, wait, you're talking about the character or the actual woman?
The woman. I'm calling her Amazing Amy.
She's in there.
A little bit, not much, not compared to the book.
Not like the book. Certainly not like the book. Well, that was the weirdest book because it was so unappealing.
Oh, yes.
It was so unappealing, but good grief, I couldn't stop reading it.
Yeah, I was on disc 9 saying, oh, thank God this switch has occurred. Now, finally, she's interesting. And it's like, okay, not even spoil it for anybody else hadn't read it. But I tell you what, it's a slog. Up until that point, I said, do I want to listen to this? Come on, because it's long. It takes 15 discs to listen to it.
Yeah. I have ordered, it's funny, I ordered Gear, Apple's Gear. Mm-hmm. And because I listened to some podcast where they talked about him, and it may have been that one that talked about Scud, but anyway, they mentioned Gear, and in it they were talking about how much they liked the black and white version, which of course is not the one I got, but whatever. I got a pretty good collection.
Well, there's a Gear ash can he put out that was pretty interesting, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, now I may be totally wrong, but I believe Gear went on to evolve into what became his Cat Scratch.
I think so. I think somebody said that.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Which big, I mean, that was peak Doug as a guy that was welcome in Hollywood. He could pitch stuff and have it listened to. I think he kind of
Yeah.
gave up on Hollywood by saying, "Up, need some money. Got to get out of here. Costs too much to be here." Just like
Oh yeah.
everybody that eventually does leave, it's like, do I want to pay these rates?
Well, that's just like, Michelle and I, when we talked about moving to New York, it's like we could be poor here
Hmm.
or live fairly well off in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
And I mean, people from New York would go, "Oh my gosh, why would you want?" And it's like, well, let me count the ways, you know.
yeah, yeah. I'm on Zillow all the time, reveling in beautiful offerings on Coronado and stuff like that. But I couldn't talk myself into ever going back as much as I want to, because they've politically changed the landscape. I would just be
Yeah,
so
San Diego
horrible.
used to be very conservative, apparently.
Yeah, oh yes, it was. Yes, I used to be so horrified by the idea of these people having to wear masks everywhere. It seemed like to me you ought to be able to be the hippie that says, "Hey man,
Yeah,
I
I'm not
don't,
gonna
I don't
die.
believe in them masks." And what and plus, you're going to have water shortages there, and they're going to treat
Yep.
it differently than they used to. They're going to actually come after you and put you in jail. I think it's coming. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they've had their taste of being the control freaks, and Gavin
They
Newsom has
liked
shown
it.
them the way, and he may be president
They
for
liked
all
it.
we know. Yeah,
They liked it. Yeah,
Gavin
I
Newsom
don't.
may be president.
I have. I mean, I've been to We went to San Diego Comic Con probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 years in a row. And San Diego, I mean, I loved going out there, and I can see why you'd want to live out there. But man, after going for so long, I started to realize it's like, this isn't really a place. This is not the place I'd want to live. You know,
Yeah,
and a lot of it is
I can't
just,
talk
I
it
think the
down. I
people
mean,
there.
yeah, there's people there that
Yeah, I think.
I know really well that are just real well grandfathered in, had the good sense to buy back in the day, and they're still there, and and of course, being friends of mine, some of them are retired, so they've done well enough for themselves that they're there and able to enjoy the
Yeah, and I
paradise
mean,
last. But someone coming in is better have some money, and you better be, like I say, prepared for whatever politically gets thrown at you. You gotta like that.
yeah, yeah, I could see that being a thing.
I mean,
But so let's see. I ordered gear. I bought. Uh, what kind of music do you listen to, Ellis, or do you listen to music much?
just practically no music when I'm working on something where it's like I'm trying to write. I can't listen to something that's talking and telling a story or anything. So I get on
Oh yeah.
Pandora and I'll listen to uh, typically like trance music. I'll listen to
Oh yeah.
what's Tangerine Dream and stuff like that.
Oh
Or I'll
yeah.
listen. I'll listen to
I listen to
nice
that kind
little.
of stuff.
I listen to jazzy stuff like good old the guy that did Peter Gunn. What's his name?
Uh,
Um,
uh,
Martini.
did Elephant
No,
Talk?
uh,
Yeah. Did Mancini?
Mancini. Martini.
Henry Mancini.
Baby Elephant Walk. So
Yeah.
many great sounds and
Yep.
songs.
Yeah, he did
He
some
may be
good
my
stuff.
favorite musician if I
I,
had to rank them.
if you had to pick one,
Yep.
if you had to crank it up. I bought another thing. I bought a Flaming Lips album.
Oh yeah.
I like the Flaming Lips. They did an album a while back. I think it's called Ukli Moodli or something. It's some Hungarian word, and it means like the eyes of youth or something like that. And they did the album, and then when they got done with the album, they had enough like outtakes and alternate versions of the songs on the album that they wanted to do something with it, and so they made a fake line, and they could have, in the past you'd release that kind of stuff as a B side or whatever, and they didn't really want to do that, so they released it as a fake concert album, and the concert is the album is called the album is called The Flaming Lips on the Flaming Lips. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got a delay thing going on. I just wondered, D&D ambience. What is that? Because Wim said that's what he plays. Is there such a thing as Dungeons and Dragons ambiance?
There are
genre?
People I don't know. I think it's like a subgenre of stuff. I mean, I've heard of people that have that there are musicians that do stuff that's like suitable for while you're playing Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff. I don't know. I couldn't come up with any. I think I've listened to some of that stuff, and it's usually kind of the stuff I've heard was kind of soundtracky, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So did you complete your thought about Flaming Lips? I'm probably walked all over you.
No. No.
Okay, go ahead.
No, anyway, the album is the Flaming Lips on the International Space Station Concert for Peace.
Okay.
And it's an imaginary live album that they made, and what they did is they took their outtakes and they mixed it with audience sounds that they had captured over the years of doing concerts, and so they made it sound like a live album
and put it on a keyboard.
Well, it's got a booklet, and the lead singer Wayne Cohen writes this article, or writes the liner notes, and it basically talks about how when he was a kid they watched the men landing on the moon, and when he was a kid he thought by this point in his life we would all be living in space in these floating cities, and him and his brothers were big rock fans, and they talked about going to concerts on space stations. And so this was his kind of audio visualization of what that would be like. Anyway, I like the album it was based off of, so I picked it up fairly cheap, again with my big Amazon money that I got through work, and I'm kind of digging that, even though I hadn't had a chance to listen to the whole thing.
It's really cool when guys like the Flaming Lips make some money, because that's where you get the variants and all that of these cool things that they were into of culture, and art. They've got the money, and they can say, this is what I'm into, and their cool little school of it might become something that inspires some other kids. Like, hey man, you remember that thing we used to listen to when we were 5 years old?
Yeah.
Of course, there's so much stuff nowadays.
That's one thing I really like
about your era. I'm sorry, Scott. How you set up, I think, causes our delay. It may be.
I mean,
it may be your iPhone need to set up or something. I don't know what it is, but we always
Was
have
I
too much
delayed
delay.
last week? Because
I don't know. We may have not
was I
talked over
delayed?
each other. Go ahead.
Well, last week I was working on the computer, so I was going to say if I was delayed last week, it wouldn't be my phone because my
Okay.
phone wouldn't have
You know,
fallen. But
I didn't notice it too bad last week.
oh, hmm,
That's all right, though. I mean, I can let you go, and I can jump in
yeah.
every now and then, just as long as we don't drive each other crazy and trying to have a thought and have somebody walking on it. You know.
Yeah, the one of the things that I like about the Flaming Lips
Mm-hmm.
is they do a lot of experimental stuff, and it's not just they're just not a band that's like, hey, we've made our money, now we're going to go on world tour, now we're going to put out. I mean, they do kind of crazy stuff now and then, and
That is
and I like
good.
that.
But do you think they're still making money? Are they still somebody that can put something out? And I know they play big here in Oklahoma City. That they can fill a concert in that area of the ballpark. They're pretty easy. You know.
Oh
They-
yeah, they do. They do big festivals all over. They headline. Yeah, they're pretty popular.
Okay.
Uh, they yeah, and they were on Jimmy Kimmel not too long ago. I think it was Jimmy
Huh.
Kimmel. So I mean, and they just put out an album. Of course, I don't know what music people make compared to what they used to make. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We don't know how much money anybody's making about this or that. You know, it's like, and especially in the music industry, so that's where everybody's getting ripped off anyway. It's like, oh, you kids didn't understand. That was all promotion money.
Yeah.
That money's gone.
Yeah, that
What?
was an advance.
Yeah. Of course, you know, some of that may be pretty legitimate. Some of these bands that are huge, there's not much reason for them to be huge other than the fact that mind control went into effect and they persuaded America that you got to have it, you know, and that takes some money to put it
Yeah.
out there.
Well, I always tell this one of the younger guys in my office at work. I always tell him, I'm glad I grew up in the era before auto tune and before the idea that the most important thing for a model, like a supermodel to have, is body positivity.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
he he agrees. It's always pretty funny.
They'll never stop having skinny little girls walking down the runway because I don't think they ever will. Because I can't imagine.
Oh,
You
what are you
know,
talking
some of
about? They already have.
you say
Do you not
they.
watch TV?
I watch on YouTube the occasional lingerie ad. And it's like, I mean, the lingerie fashion shows, because I don't know why, but YouTube shows them to me. They say you'll want to see this for some reason. No, anyway, it's who are you going to stick in underwear and have them walk down a walkway? Are you going to stick somebody obese?
Me?
Are you going to do that to them? You know.
Yes, yes, that's what they do now, Ellis.
Oh, that's almost cruel. So,
That's what I'm telling you.
well, okay.
I know it doesn't seem possible, does it?
Well, they aren't feeding them to me in terms of like,
Well, I hope not.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, you didn't mean literally.
yeah. I'm feeding myself a little too much right at the moment. I gotta lose about 5 pounds.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's
It's
tough once you get a few pounds on you. You realize this is going to take some work to get it off of me.
Well, I do good during the week, and then on weekends,
Too
the
many
COVID,
options.
as I told someone, well, as I told someone, my desk was much too close to my kitchen.
Yeah.
And, my wife, make sure she's not coming in here. My wife, I mean, you see my wife, extremely skinny,
Uh-huh. And she wants
but
to stay that way, and she
when we were
lives that way. Yeah.
Exactly. But she has a pretty good metabolism. And when we were working at home, she was like, we got to get snacks, So
Mm-hmm.
she always had, because she's one of those people that eats constantly, apparently.
Oh, I bet she's completely under control. I used to have a real conflict that I tried to get Linda, the girl I went to San Diego with, to understand that if she bought a box of whatever, some sort of
Yeah.
fluffy chocolate magic, that I would eat them
Yeah.
on a regular, like Homer Simpson's basis, just
Yeah.
because they were there and I knew they were there.
Yep.
That my self control just wasn't there for having that in the house. My starting point on that discipline is to not have it in the house.
Yeah, the discipline starts at the grocery store.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm with you, brother.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I can't have moon pies.
Oh yeah.
In the house. In the house.
Oh yeah. I took off work tomorrow.
Taking off work tomorrow. Everybody that listens to this probably wishes they had your job. Yeah, it is summer. It's time for little vacations.
Oh yeah, we're going to New Orleans in August, which is not the time to go to New Orleans, but it's when we're going.
All right. What do you think that's going to be like? Have you been there before in August or not?
We've been there we were there last August actually.
Oh, okay.
And it was hotter than crap. But I tell you what, Michelle's going to be in classes most of the day, and there's a mall that I just kind of like the atmosphere of it. It's got a big food court up at top, and I'm going to walk around until it gets warm, and then I'm going to plant myself somewhere
in refrigerated air
and draw.
Mm-hmm.
Refrigerated air and just draw. Well, I've told you that when I retire, my thing is going to be I'm going to find a mall and I'm going to be one of those early mall walkers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure they got a coffee shop, and I'm going to walk for a little while, and then I'm going to get some coffee, and then I'm going to draw for a little while, then I'm going to go home.
Okay. I think malls are becoming.
I'm not going to the park.
Something in the past, aren't they? I mean, where would you find out? Well, you've got a big mall. You got a big mall over there that's still a viable thing. Yeah,
there's a mall.
The north side's got malls. Over here, it's just like, when I was having those stupid jobs, having to have jobs around here, and I was working at retail of Home Depot. Those orientation films, they were feeding us some of the facts I learned is this neighborhood of mine, this southwest side of the city's Home Depot is the most shoplifted from. They
in the world or the country or the city.
It may have been pretty close to the world, but it's it gets regularly shoplifted from, and that's what some of the orientation was about. And they just said, "Oh, over there, huh?" And of course, the one I worked at was more, which is just fine. You go 5 miles south, and you're just fine. They don't steal as much. But my little neighborhood over here, it's like, you must not want that. It's not bolted down.
Yeah. Well, and no offense to your neighborhood, but it is amazing because it's like poor people seem to get robbed more than non-poor people.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of it is, of course, it's the myth. Some of it's myth, and of course the strategy is fairly often to steal something to then return it for a refund. That's the very typical reason you steal something in the first place is because once you got it, you can walk back in and say, "Hey, this is yours. Turned out it didn't work the way I thought it would. Give me the money. I'll take cash."
Yeah, and it's like, well, yep.
And then you just look at them and say, "I know you stole that, but you can't." Fairly often they just say, "Okay, here's
right.
your money. Get out of here. Beat it."
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Don't come back. We're why.
Yeah, they are. Well, don't come back for a
Well,
while.
don't they have them fill out paperwork? I mean, to me, that seems like that would be the best deterrent, at least of it happening again.
I think they
It's like,
do.
well, we'll need you to fill this out.
Let's see. You've returned 10 thermostats. You need to figure out one of these thermostats.
Yeah.
For some reason, thermostats.
I never thought about that, but how about $high easy to steal item?
Yeah, $high easy to steal items. Yeah, you just stick that in your pocket, go out with it.
I mean, relatively.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, not that I'm advocating that. I would be more likely to advocate we cut hands off a thief. I don't know. I shouldn't say that.
Well, you get all a person could get kind of wound up, and they shouldn't, because obviously it's not their money. But employees can get into a fighting mode when they see somebody ripping their store off.
It's not, and generally the company will fire you.
Oh yeah, they'll just fire you straight out. You lay a good hard right into somebody's head, and your history, because you just opened the company up for retiring the stupid guy.
Right. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And God help you if you're wrong and they didn't steal something. They don't have a thermostat in their purse.
Yeah.
Then you're really up a creek.
Yeah. Wim says, tag Scott with an example of the D&D ambience on Twitter. So Wim has sent you something that will give you the...
Oh, okay. I'll look at it when we get done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be curious
some
because
big jerk
I do play D&D.
I
don't know if... I play a lot of... In fact, Saturday I'm playing D&D. I've been playing D&D with a group of guys for about 3 years now, 3 or 4 years.
I knew you did it regularly.
I played when I was a kid. Well, we try and play twice a month, but man, we went through a phase where we didn't play for about 6 months, it seemed like. It's like everything I do, almost everything. It's like almost everything I do, I do it, and then when I get involved, I complain about how much time it takes. But every time I do it, I enjoy it.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's Oh, okay. Thank you. Look at this. You're joining us late, some big jerk. And I know your name, but it's it's slipping. So I'll just call you some big jerk. Last name Hole, right? Hole.
Is it Gene?
Yeah.
I think we're Facebook
He says he saw my pin-up for Heaven's Rejects. Looks great. Thanks a lot. Yeah, you joined late, and I was showing off the other one. I can still show it off. Let me show you the other one that.
Yeah, show the other one.
Our local artist Dirk Hooper, right?
Dirk Hooper. So
yeah.
So the writer said, "Hey, I'm getting some pinups done. Do you want to get some?" And I said, "Sure." And so I gave him a list of names, which was Ellis, Dirk Hooper, and a guy named Mike Kennedy. And I said, "I don't know how many you need." I said, "But I got 3 guys that I think would do a great job, and I would like to have them in the book." And part of it, I was on a podcast the other night, and they went through them, and I talked about them. But part of it is all 3 of these people. Well, Dirk, I haven't known for very long, but he does kind of a lot of like fetish art. That's kind of his thing, but he wants to kind of expand his horizon a little bit. But I felt like he would do a great job because he draws women really well, and everything everything he draws kind of has like a 70s look. And so I reached out to him, and he was excited to do a pinup. And then you, of course, I reached out to you because we're friends, and I wanted you to be involved in the project. And then I reached out to Mike Kennedy, who I've known the longest of the three, because and all these people I'm friends with, but Mike is the guy that really was the first person that I ever saw that was, drawing a comic book where when I saw it, I was like, how is he drawing a comic book? He was, back in the 80s, he was working for a company out of Dallas doing a book. And a friend of mine, our friend Dave, showed it to me because Dave was going to school with him. And I was like, wait a minute, what? How did this happen? Because I couldn't wrap my brain around the idea of someone local doing a comic book. I thought you had to live in New York to do a comic book.
Mike is he was right there with radioactive hamster kind of like a level of being out there working. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, that long ago.
And Mike is a guy that I told Dirk this. I said, of all of my friends that I know that do comics, like independent kind of comics, Mike is the one guy. Mike is the guy that I would probably love to see break in more than. He's kind of the guy that I feel like has put his time in. He's done it a lot longer than I have.
Well, I consider him in. I mean, he puts stuff out.
I'm talking about like why is he not working on a Marvel book? Kind of in. I mean, he should. Even though. My contention is nobody's drawing a Marvel book full time, and that's why they all hire artists that have a favorable exchange rate because they don't pay
finally figured out how to share a screen right. There we go.
But
there it is.
But anyway, I wanted Mike to be involved because I like all these guys are guys that I like personally. And I'm always wanting to get you involved in stuff I'm working on, and I just thought it would be cool. I mean, I just, I don't know what's going to happen with my comic. I don't know if they'll ever do more issues. I mean, they may do 4 and it never go anywhere, but I figured I wanted some of my friends involved. So it's like if you were having a wake or a big birthday party or something, you want all your friends there, and that's kind of how I treated it. So
yeah,
and everybody knocked it out of the park. Everybody kind of did a little bit different style, and I love it. I love them all. They're all awesome. Who
was best?
I'm very happy. I'm not going to tell you.
I'm kidding.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm right away.
Because I think they're all good. They're all good. There's different vibes.
Best? Yeah.
Dirk's is probably the most impressive if you look at it.
He's the hardest working, that's for sure. Yeah.
He's the hardest working of the. Let me put it this way. I feel like I got my most bang for the buck with Dirk.
Hey, do you have mics? You have mics? Could I see that at some point? Or
yeah, let me. So Mike sent me one. Hang on, I have to go to the other room, but let me.
Okay.
Because I have to pull them off of my desktop.
Okay. You're gonna send it to yourself? Okay. Or you're gonna post it on Instagram? What are you gonna do?
I'll post it on Instagram. That's probably the easiest thing for me. Let me see.
The problem grab it and share it.
Yes. So,
okay.
Why don't I see Mike? See, and some of them got text to me, so those won't be. Okay. Oh, you know what? Okay, here.
One of the funniest character design things in the world to me is Popeye's forearms. It's like, who thought of that? to stick that just that big bulge right there in the big middle of his skinny spaghetti upper arm and his, just have it go all the way down to big old hands, and wrists that just like don't exist. They just start being fingers, That there's this character called a German in Venice that I watch all the time. That shows you how bad things are in Southern California. He's always showing you the homeless situation. Well, that's how he got big. His subscription numbers just took off because he was showing you the homeless in Venice. And he's built like that. He's got wrists that he's got big old thick arms, and it just goes right on into his fingers in terms of like not changing diameter. You get the impression that guy could crush a beer can at any rate.
Okay, I put both of Mike's on my Instagram page. Now they're two images on one post. So
okay, I will get to Instagram real quick. Download your thing and open that up in preview, and we should be able to see it.
It cropped one of them. Hang on, let me post. Did I not hit?
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. The second one, the one with the black girls in the red.
Oh, you put two up. Okay.
Yeah, but don't share that one. Let me share this one with because Instagram will crop it if it's not the right. The correct image for that has text at the top. Yeah, the correct image for that has text at the top.
Okay, so don't share that one.
Well, share the one with text on it. The second one.
Okay.
The one but you can share that other one.
Let me find it.
Oh, okay. She's wearing red in both of them. Okay, one of them, the three girls are kind of.
I've got the one with text. That's the one you wanted to save, right?
Well, and then there's the other one on the deal because Mike did one, and then he sent me another one this morning. He was like, "I know this is late, but yeah." It's like, so maybe with Mike I got two. So maybe
yeah. Well, chic. I feel lazy, but I'm not lazy. It just takes me X amount of time to do what I do. So
no, art is not sold by the hour. I mean, I mean, okay, when you're punching the clock, it is. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, no, you gave me exactly what I wanted.
There it is. Heaven's Rejects with the type showing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gene says, yeah, another good pin of that. I may have seen it when Scott posted it on Facebook. Yeah, you guys.
I posted so much of this stuff on Facebook, and I mean, my Facebook is constantly blowing up with people liking stuff and sharing stuff. I just hope the book does well. I mean,
I do too.
If anyone's out there and they're thinking about ordering it, I've got the order code in my thing. It's JUL 22-1933. In the July previews, or it's at DCBS, same order code. Look, they messed up the name. It's Heaven's Reject in the catalog, but the actual name of the book is Heaven's Rejects. But if you type in Heaven, either in Diamond or in DCBS, you'll find it. And I was on Task Force Geek the other night. And I was telling those guys, and everybody at work is not really giving me grief, but they're kind of busting my chops because they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna sell this and you're gonna make all this money and you're gonna
make a lot of money."
Well, yeah. First off, I think that's ridiculous. You go, all I really want. Well, then they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get a Netflix deal and you're gonna."
Well, that could happen. I mean,
I think the comic would be great as a mini series or something along those lines. It's got the right kind of vibe to it.
And your writer has a track history.
Yeah, they and the publisher has a lawyer out in California that pitches stuff to people.
Yeah.
So people will see it, I think. I don't care about any of that. I really don't. Literally, all I care about is that it sells enough that I don't have to scramble around for work. I mean, that I can like that all because I haven't done anything hardly except for the past year.
Mhm.
Once I finished it, and I'm like, can we work on the next thing? Well, let's see how it sells before we get started. And the writer's busy. He's got sequels to stuff that he knows will sell that he's working on. So it's hard for me to push him to do a sequel when we don't know how it's sold. I want it to sell well enough that, I mean, I don't care about the money necessarily. I just want to be able to. I want to be constantly working, constantly drawing comics. That's
Yeah.
my goal is, you know, I'm 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 still a ways from retiring, but I
Hmm.
would love to retire and draw comics.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, drawing comics would be an awesome retirement job. You know,
You can't see any of the images I'm going back and forth from. I'm showing both of the Kennedy things, and I showed the other one
and
earlier.
Dirks.
But I'm also showing. I accidentally clicked on this thing called America 3000, and I
No, what's
became
that?
aware of that because it's a 19. It's peak Canon Films,
Oh
19,
yeah.
1985, and you can find it on YouTube. It's got a VHS rip of it, and there was a Frazetta girls posted a Frazetta poster of it that wasn't used,
Oh
and
gosh.
it's
Why
one of
would you have a
those.
Why would you have a Frazetta poster and not use
Yeah,
it?
and then they used that poster again, which is the disease of saying, yeah, I got Photoshop, we'll just use photos
Yep.
when you had Frazetta do something. But you know what, I got to say, the Frazetta poster that they posted is like, you know what, I don't know what they paid him, but Frazetta didn't put his heart and soul into that one. In '85, it's like he would have been a very big deal. He would have been, able to turn down anybody he wanted to turn down. So I don't,
That's
I
weird
don't
that
even
he
know
would
why
do
it got
something.
made. It's like who hooked him into the project, because it's obviously just almost unwatchable. It looks like a really stupid movie.
Well, you say that about Frazetta, but in '85, was that true? Was he a big deal,
I
or had
think the
he?
I think the Ballantine
You know what I'm
books had come
saying?
out.
There may be. Do what?
I think the Ballantine books had come out, and that made him independent, basically.
Yeah, but had they come out early enough that his star had kind
Oh,
of waned? You know what I'm
uh,
saying?
yeah, maybe I don't know. I'd have to check that. Because obviously
Hang.
Hollywood money is always good money, even if it's like, and Canon Films, they got
Oh
they
yeah,
got
they were
they had money.
ridiculous.
Yeah, they had money. They were putting out everything you were seeing at Blockbuster.
Well, this Frank Frazetta book 5 came out in 1985. So obviously it was still big enough deal to warrant
Oh yeah,
a
no, no,
book,
no. The moment those
you know.
Ballantine books hit, and if that one is
This
in
is what you're talking
1980.
about, these books.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those
Yeah.
things, right when those hit, he was independent at that point. It's like they realized how much money they could make with his art in just a purely they didn't have to pitch him to anybody from that point forward.
Look at that, man.
Yeah, yeah. The world wanted Frazetta once those Ballantine books hit. Oh, the
Yeah, I
world
guess
always
that's
wanted
true.
Frazetta, but they hadn't figured out how to hand him the cash for wanting Frazetta. Not as
I wonder what
the
size this thing was originally.
you know what, he works smaller than you think he does. He that probably is
This
no
looks
bigger
about
than a.
twice up.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
this
It's
was probably
probably it's
about that
probably
big
about
originally.
the
It
size
looks
of a typewriter sheet, maybe. But that's what it published at.
yeah.
So you think it's twice up there? Okay. The man's
Well,
amazing.
just from looking at just the line, I don't know. I wish some of these books. I wish they'd put the sizes on this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I always like
Of
about
course,
the
we're just lucky to
heritage.
have this book.
Yeah, the heritage auction stuff is good about that. It'll say, "What? That's only 11 by 14." Goodness sakes!
Oh, look at that, man.
He's got paintings that are that small that he was publishing on for Ace that are smaller than you think they are.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting
Awesome.
stuff.
A lot
Oh
of
man,
black and white stuff in this
is
one.
that number 5?
You don't have these.
Yeah, no, I've got them,
It's
but
number 5.
unfortunately, I cut all the spines off of them and stuck them into a loose leaf. I ruined their value, but I've got the art, which is, at
Yeah,
the
but
time,
I mean,
and still
what
is the important part to me. I ought to bring that in here and show you that.
At one point,
People have grown.
At one point, these were very valuable or very expensive. Mine are rough. This one has water damage, but I mean, I'll still read it. But I don't know. They've come out with better Frazetta books, but I don't know if I'd have to be hard pressed for cash to get rid of these.
Oh no!
Like
You
most
don't
of my
get rid those
books.
things.
No.
It's interesting. I've got a book that's should be coming through within a month or so by a guy that Frazetta will let hang out around him quite a bit, David Spurlock, and it's going to be a book.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, you've met him, haven't you? He's at OFCON every year.
Oh, he is. Oh, maybe I have met him. I don't know.
Dude.
Well, anyway,
Dave and I talked to him forever at OFCON last year.
Huh?
He's a great guy.
I'll have to show up
He
at OFCON
published
every now and then.
that Wally Wood book I brought.
Oh, really? Well, he's got a book
dude.
coming, which is going to be all of the paperbacks in consecutive order, which I hope he does a great job on it. And
He will.
I can't think of anything I want more than every paperback cover that Frazetta did in the order he did them in, with the facts about them. That was worth however much I
How big is it?
prepaid for it. I could check Amazon, I guess, real quick for you if you want me to know that. I'll check my orders.
What's the book
on Amazon? I'll tell you what it's called.
Oh, did you get it on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon prepaid. I'll just type in Spurlock real quick.
Oh, you're going to find a ton of books. He's a busy dude.
Busy dude.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh yeah.
Sensuous Frazetta. Fantastic Frazetta. Okay. I didn't. Oh, here it is. Frazetta book cover art. I paid $40 for it. Don't remember that, but I did apparently. Of course, I don't guess they take your money until they send it.
Yeah. No.
So, Frazetta book cover art comes out July 26th. Coming out
there you go.
Couple weeks. Weeks from now. Excellent.
Dude, it's like Christmas in July.
This Vanguard follows last year's hit Fantastic Paintings of Frazetta book by J. David Spurlock with definitive reference on Frazetta book cover art. Yeah, by focusing on the new book follows last year's hit and is similar to Vanguard's earlier definitive reference, but is superior in at least one regard. Instead of cataloging Frazetta items with mostly smaller illustrations, this new book is devoted solely to the artist's single most beloved venue, book cover art. By focusing on this specific area, the book boasts room enough to feature every single one of Frazetta's famous and highly collectible illustrated book covers, beautifully and authentically reproduced at a larger size on a page to itself. So that's going to be great. Just every page is going to be a book cover. That's going to be awesome.
That is, I may order that.
Yeah, 40 bucks. You just paid about that much for that other thing you were showing off the other day, right?
No, the Wallywood book.
Yeah,
Nah, the Wallywood book that's $15.
15 bucks. Okay, wow.
Yeah, yeah, but
Well, the thing from Mars, the
that was
spawn of Mars.
Yeah, that was like almost 30, I think.
Yeah, you spent that much for that one. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I'll spend whatever I need to spend.
yeah, whatever I need.
It doesn't matter. I'm not on a budget. I got allowance money coming.
Money.
Anyway, Ellis, we've gone way over an hour.
Oh, we have? Way over?
Oh, yeah.
An hour 10 anyway. Hey, Nasser says, listen to Nasser. Nasser, I just got my digital copies of his books on Creepsters. That was pretty good. Haven't read it yet. Of course, I've read, he sent me the script for it. Okay, here we go. Hey, guys, I picked up the new Criterion Raging Bull 4K today. Well, I bet that looks fantastic. Okay, we're done here. Okay. Hiding Nasser. That's always a good idea to click hide on Nasser. Okay, we are going to end the broadcast. See ya. You want to say anything else, Scott? Hey, look at all that work you did.
Well, if you want to support my comics, you want to support me making art, please buy Heaven's Rejects. Issue 1 is in the previews right now. The cutoff date's the 18th. I think that is Monday. So head to your comic shop this weekend and have them pick it up for you from the Diamond Previews. It's in the Source Point Press section, and it is order code JUL 221933 and 34. There's 2 covers. Or get it from DCBS online, and it's the same order code. Search for Heaven. Search for Heaven, and you'll find it. Anyway, but if you do that, I'd really appreciate it.
Very cool. Okay, well, in my little doodles that I did today, if you go to Weird Ellis tonight, you'll see me crop every one of these and highlight them in case you're wondering what that blurry image that I've been working on all evening looks like. Okay, ending broadcast.